Antman and the Wasp: Quantumania is directed by Peyton Reed. This is the kickoff to Phase 5, and I was lukewarm going into this one. The trailers I did quite like, but I was tricked by the Antman and the Wasp trailer, and I did not like that movie at all. It's one of my least favorite MCU films. I was going in cautiously optimistic. I know the reviews were fairly lackluster. Over the last couple years, I've grown to not really care about the reviews that much, and just trying to form my own opinion. I know. Being an actual critic. I think this was worse than Ant-Man and the Wasp, and this is probably my least favorite MCU film. I did not like this movie at all. The second we got down to the quantum realm, and by the time we've been down there for like maybe a good 15 minutes, I found myself completely checked out of the movie. I found myself not caring, not invested, and not buying a single thing I was watching on screen because the characters are written poorly, the film's directed poorly, and the CGI is trash. The CGI, in the trailer they showed some decent visuals, but there are some scenes here, particularly one scene that's very ambitious in what it's trying to do. It just failed so miraculously. It looks like the Star Wars prequels at moments. I wish I liked this movie. I wish I was saying more positive things right now, but I can say what I did like. I obviously, like everyone else, enjoyed Jonathan Majors as Kang. It was a good second introduction into his character, but I do think that these reviews are like, oh, Kang is great, but he doesn't really show up till the second half of the film, and he has a lot of exposition to give, and he's not written very well. I mean, Jonathan Majors does a great job, particularly with the physical part of the role of like having that big threatening physical presence, because he's all muscular and all, and particularly with that fight with Ant-Man you see in the trailer, there's some fear to be had there. But knowing how the movie was going and how cliche it was going and how much the trailer gave away from this movie, I saw everything coming. I felt nothing. I didn't latch onto the characters at all. I mean, I didn't like Ant-Man and the Wasp that much either. At least I felt some kind of connection with Scott and his daughter and like parents and their kids. This movie I didn't feel it because Cassie, I don't like the actress that they used for her. She did a better job than I thought she would, because based off that second trailer I was like, oh boy, we're in for something with this new actress. She was a little bit better, but still didn't blow my mind. I don't like the way she was written. She was used as a plot device, and so was a lot of the characters here. Another problem I had with Ant-Man and the Wasp was that it had a lot of MacGuffins. This movie didn't have as many MacGuffins, but still it was a fairly MacGuffin-based storyline. Like I said, the visuals didn't work, so hence the action didn't work either. I don't really remember any action sequence except for maybe a couple of moments of the Ant-Man Kang fight. I don't want to call this a spoiler. It happens at the end of the movie, and you've already seen most of it in the trailer. I feel severely underwhelmed, detached. I don't feel an ounce of care. I don't think Peyton Reed's a good director. The only thing he has that's good under his belt is the first Ant-Man film, and I feel like that was heavily influenced by Edgar Wright, because everything in the first Ant-Man movie that sticks out feels very Edgar Wright, and the rest of the first Ant-Man film is just kind of bled to me. I thought maybe since this was going maybe kind of Star Wars-like, maybe Peyton Reed would really, really try to like be on his A game here. I thought his Mandalorian episodes were fine, nothing amazing. Here, he didn't really step up anything. It didn't feel like I was watching his best work either. It just felt like I was just watching a Marvel director making a Marvel movie. And it's not completely his fault. He didn't write the script. I believe his name is Jeff Loving. This is his first film. He didn't do a good job, and I'm very, very scared now for Kang Dynasty because it's the same writer. I know I mentioned in my trailer reaction that I was like, oh, where are they going to take Scott's character? And I like what they did with him the first couple of minutes of the movie. They set up a very good arc, but there's no emotional conclusion. And this movie ends on a very lackluster note where you're just kind of like, okay, what's next? This movie also goes through a long process of re-explaining things that have already been explained in other multiverse films, whether it's like No Way Home, Doctor Strange, Loki, where I just kind of felt like, I know, can we please get over this? I mean, I don't care if they bring in Bill Murray in to help explain it. I don't really care if you're bringing in a random actor to help explain this thing, because I felt nothing. This is the most numb I felt watching a movie in a while. I felt like the Homelander meme. And I'm a critic that's relatively nice to Marvel. I'm quite nice to Marvel, and so maybe I was in a bad mood. I don't think I was. I was ready to see this movie, even though my expectations were low. I always go in with an open mind. From the second we got down to the quantum realm, and after like maybe 15 minutes we were down there, I knew that the rest of the movie wasn't going to be for me, because I need more to my movie than just CGI. I said in my trailer reaction, maybe it'll work because it's all CGI. I'll be able to buy into it more. It actually just took me more out of the movie. I need to be immersed into something. I need to feel real to be attached. And that's why I said that's why it really hurts that the characters here are lacking, because if the CGI really sucked, at least I can grasp onto something emotional. I didn't grasp onto anything here. I mean, Paul Rudd, yeah, he's great, he's funny. There are a couple jokes here that are quite funny that made me laugh. I'm not a comics person, so the whole MODOK thing really didn't bother me that much because I don't know how he is in the comics, but I am sure that people that read the comics and like love the character are probably really mad about what they did. There's a couple jokes that they made. Some of them landed, but one at the end really, really did make me laugh, except there's this one joke that they drag out for way too long, and it involves Cassie. I didn't care for that joke, but one scene at the very, very end of the movie with MODOK, I thought it was hysterical. It kind of reminded me of Deadpool 2. That's all I'll say about it. Speaking of the comedy, there's a lot of breaks for comedy here. Not as much as there is in the other Ant-Man films. It's just sometimes they're placed really poorly. I mean, I know that clip is going around on Twitter right now of Scott trying to show Cassie how to, like, beat someone. And it's a lot of interjected comedy. It has interruptions like that, but at least the scenes with Kang weren't really interrupted that way. Another thing this movie really didn't do, I don't care for the Hank Pym character. This movie didn't make me like Hank any more than before. Michelle Pfeiffer, I thought she was fine here. She gave a lot of exposition, and I still have no attachment to her. Like, I just felt so unattached to this film. As much as I felt unattached to Ant-Man and the Wasp, but even more. Even Luis isn't here, and he's one of my favorites. He's gone. Not in this movie at all. Made me so sad. Yeah, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, my least favorite MCU entry to date. And before that, that was Thor, Love and Thunder, and now it's this film. And that sucks that, like, two movies fairly close together are at the bottom of the MCU list. Oh well, I mean, I'm really bummed to say this because I really wanted to, like, be like, yeah, Peyton Reed finally figured it out. You know, he got his Star Wars feel, he did a fun sci-fi adventure, but nope, he did not perform, neither did the script. A lot of things just didn't work here, and it was kind of like a nightmare mix for me. Overall, I'm going to give Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, a 4.2 out of 10. I know everyone's like, oh crap, Marvel's in trouble this year. Guardians 3 is going to be great, we all know that, and James Gunn we trust. The Marvels, I don't think will be this bad. You got Nia DaCosta. I know she hasn't directed like a big action film before, but I did enjoy the Candyman remake. Phase 5 just got off to a really bad start, but I think it will course correct. I hope it will course correct, I think is the proper translation. Comment down below what you guys thought of this film. Am I crazy? Did I just feed into the negativity too much on this one? I mean, I try to distance myself, but about half an hour into this movie, I just found myself completely out of it. Yeah, it sucks to say all this. Oh well. Like, share, subscribe, and stuff like that, and adios.